Us creators, we want to do it all, don't we? We wear so many hats. Well, how are you going to do it all and still build on your own development, your expertise? How do you go deep when you're expected just to be so spread across all domains? Well, that's what this video is going to be about. Welcome back to Serena's Playbook. I'm Serena with more than 20 years in comms and media. I am also a chartered public relations practitioner. I have a 9 to 5 and I create content. I have a media and politics commentary channel, and I'm here to help you level up your strategic thinking. You might be a creator, a student, building a brand in public. I've got you. If I, it's another Americanism that comes in. I've got you. We've got this, right? I don't know why I just went a bit London Cockney. Anyway, welcome. I hope you're good. I hope you're warm. So let's get into this. I think it's really important for us to consider this. You might be a smaller creator. I keep banging on about this in all my videos, and that is building your expertise. Don't outsource everything to an LLM. Please don't do that. Protect your cognitive process. Go deep. Um, this really hit me when I started my postgrad in systems thinking. I'm in the last 9 months of it, and when I began doing postgrad study now in my 40s, I'm like, wow, this is hard, but I'm so glad it's hard. I'm joining sort of new dots. I'm misfiring and I'm firing up parts of my brain I haven't used. And even though I've been really pushing with my development creatively and professionally, doing a postgrad, doing an MSc has been different. It's been different. And so that's why I'm a real advocate of going deep. Don't just sort of get stuck in the trap of short-term cycles of gratification. No, 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 no. So we are always heard. We are always told to post daily. Be on every single platform. You got your YouTube, you got your TikTok, your Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, X Threads. You got to write newsletters, launch a podcast, create a course, build a community like a cult, build a community, offer one-on-ones. The creator economy, who makes it anyway, tells us to do it all, and we're exhausted, we're burnt out, and wondering why nothing's working. But what if the problem isn't that we're not doing enough? What if it's that we're not going deep enough anywhere? And that's what I keep banging on about. So here are some things I'd like to talk to you about. You've got the trap of just going across and not going down, not going deep, the breadth trap. Okay, so the creator advice is to diversify on platforms, to have multiple revenue streams. Of course, it's smart. Why not? And to have constant content. The reality is, though, you can end up getting spread so thin and nothing really gets deep attention. You're doing 10 things and you're doing it at 20% versus two things at 100%. I don't think I do everything. I don't think I can just do the few things at 100%, but at least I'm kind of over that kind of level where, okay, I'm doing enough, a significant amount. I'm not so spread thin. I'm not doing my postgrad perfectly. I'm not kind of doing music perfectly. I'm not teaching yoga perfectly. I've been a yoga instructor for more than 10, nearly 15 years, but studied it, trained in it from being like 13 years old. So it's been a very long time. I'm not doing it perfectly, but I'm still doing it. I'm doing it. I'm in the arena. So I think this is the sort of danger of what we're actually missing. We when we have brands and we have got to protect them, and we've got to protect them with demonstrable expertise, if you're missing the depth bit, you're missing that line of defense, in my opinion. Whereas if you're just going across and you're not going deep and you're not building on your expertise, then you can be easily replaced. And especially now in this whole world of AI, etc., and everyone's talking about, this is where you got to build, you don't want to be replaced. Well, in my opinion is, I'm a multidisciplinary person. I'm an advocate of bricolage, this concept of bricoleur, where you're using everything within your repertoire and your arsenal. And I want to build on all of those things, go deeper, and offer a lot of value from all of those things. If I just constantly think about posting the same thing in the same way, but sort of differing slightly for different platforms, I don't know. I don't think I'm joining many dots up here. I think I'm using the same three brain cells. So um, I think the the sort of risk is that very few then become can become sort of a definitive voice within their sort of area, um, without going deep. There's a risk of being easy to be copied and for people to borrow your stuff. You want to be remembered. You want to be regarded well, and you want to be respected, I guess, and you want to stand out. And I think that's more valuable to go deeper with your expertise. When we have this sort of quality versus quantity, when I think about quality, I don't think about perfect lighting and perfect production. I'm thinking about my research. I'm thinking about thinking, the creating, the editing, the engaging, all of it. And if I was to do that all for 5 platforms and posting daily, I just wouldn't be able to do it. It wouldn't be sustainable, which is why YouTube gets my sort of first priority, like my only, it's my main one. So if you were spreading yourself that thin over, like, say, 5 platforms, and you are spreading yourself too thin, something's going to have to give, and then it'll be the quality and the value and going deep. Um, so let me just have a quick sip of my London Nootropics adaptogenic coffee. Mm. Not sponsored. Hello. The result, therefore, would be you could have forgettable content everywhere instead of like memorable content in at least one corner of the internet. I'm. I like to think I'm building a corner of the internet, and I would like to, as I do, take some of this stuff. She says stuff offline. So let's just say this isn't here, but I've built expertise. Well, I already have it, but I'm building it even more. If you've been in a game for longer than 20 years and then you're starting to share it more online, it's like if the online thing doesn't go, it's like you don't go. But if you're doing it sort of concurrently at the same time, you're building expertise and credibility in your space online as you're building your thing behind the scenes, then there's ways that you can go about to kind of get the sort of tangible. There's lots of approaches to this. You could have a book, like there's the Daniel Priestley key person of influence model. I remember engaging with that when it first came out in the first few years. Actually, I think I know I had a meeting with Daniel, and I did a bit of PR. That's a longer story. But anyway, so there's lots of ways that you can share your expertise. You can build a body of work, not just lots of posts, so the permission we need is, it's okay not to be on every platform. I know I'm a small creator. You'd perhaps believe me if I had 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100, a million. But from a sort of a personal development perspective, from an expertise perspective, from being respected, or at least I think I'm respected, you don't have to be on every platform. It's okay to post less frequently. It's okay to have one or two main things and go deeper and build on that, and then write that book and then share it in videos and podcasts, and just let the engagement happen. I've got lots of videos about engagement and PR, and I've got playlists dedicated to that. I've got like 5 days of PR calls as well. You can check that out. It's all available here on my YouTube channel. So just don't have the FOMO. Um, I don't know about sort of successful creators being everywhere all at the same time unless they have teams. And if you don't have loads of teams, and if you don't have a team and you haven't got loads of people helping you out and you're a smaller creator, I just don't want you to sacrifice the personal development piece here. So trading that for just presence everywhere, I just don't think it's smart. I don't think you should trade sort of your authority just for sort of visibility. I'm not sure. She mumbles. I'm just not sure. So I would prefer not to be a shallow creator. I don't want to be easily replaced. I wonder about you, whether you're okay with that. A creator with depth could be sought out for engagements, for training, for all sorts, depending on your area. Um, so I think going deep for a lot of people might feel like they're missing out. Let's talk about that. So going deep feels like, but I'm spending all this time. I could be here, there, and everywhere, and then and then you think that you're in the mix. But what if going deep actually creates more opportunities for you and you will stand out more over time? Um, Specialists get referenced, right? Experts get referenced. Whereas, I don't know about people who are super generalists. I'm not sure about you being the one to be called for that speaking engagement or for that podcast as the expert. A lot of these experts that we see on these podcasts, they've been studying, they've been doing the work for a while offline, behind the scenes, and they're still doing it. Um, so going deep requires saying no to some platforms that just don't fit you, and saying no to to any content that just doesn't deepen your expertise, and having patience with yourself, just believing that it's okay. It takes a bit of a shift for you, and I wonder if that shift comes easily. I was addicted to short term content. I was just putting stuff out constantly on TikTok, on Instagram, on my YouTube shorts, and I felt empty. I just didn't feel like I was getting any value out of it. It was only once I started going deeper behind the scenes that I thought, oh, okay, I have something of value, and something with more depth to share, and I feel less frightened of future developments because I'm all about the uncertainty, and sort of dealing with complexity. So I want to build other confident creators, and I would like to form community with other creators who are going deeper and who are really building on their expertise. And that's a personal motivation of mine. That's one of my personal objectives. I don't want to constantly optimize for algorithms. I don't want it to kind of dictate so much of my ideation. My master's in science research is actually within the sort of algorithm AI impact on ideation for creators, in particular political commentators. And so looking at a lot of the sort of peer reviewed articles, papers, all that secondary research, and then looking to conduct primary research, I'm constantly sort of reflecting on the process of creation, especially when you're a content creator, and thinking about how algorithms and AI and all this kind of stuff, platform policy, has an impact on my ideas. And I think it is easy to fall into the trap of sort of like trying to go for a short term, quick sort of fix type of visibility. And in the long term, I just don't think that gives me any value. I just don't feel satisfied. I'd actually say this sort of body of videos and content feels like I'm building a sort of a book, if you like. And so that's why, I would see all of these videos as like a great draft for a chapter, or a portion of a chapter. Let me know your thoughts on that. So the creator economy wants us to do it all. And it wants us to be everywhere. But I would want creators to build something that's sustainable, that's valuable, and that's fulfilling. And I would just urge you not to spread yourself thin, and not to be on every platform, and just have faith in your development and look outwards more, zoom out more. And hopefully, there'll be a bit of a change in the culture of creators as well. And we can get others to follow this sort of example of um, going deeper, and like seeing what you can find when you're exploring deeper, or sort of gems and treasures you can find. So what's your deep thing? What are you perhaps avoiding digging into, and what's worth mastering for you? Rather than sort of spreading yourself across everything. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time and attention. This is wonderful that you've stuck around for this long. Your time and attention is super important. You can join me on my Discord. Just search for Serena's Playbook. Of course, jump in the comments. Of course, please subscribe. You're wonderful. Stay warm, stay safe. You can find out more about me in the description, and I'll see you in the next video every Monday, and then bonus bits here and there during seasonal times, and the odd course. So keep your eyes peeled, turn on that notification bell, and find me in the next one.